How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, December 9th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Taking a quick step back and looking at where we are in the calendar year, with baseball being over for the year, right now we are still looking to the end of the college football regular seasons, where everything that's left is bowl games. We're looking at the NFL season, which is entering its final run of the season, not to mention that college and pro basketball are just getting underway. And also because we are reaching the end of the calendar year, we are almost at the midway point for international soccer, as yesterday was the final day for the group stage of Champions League, as the amount of teams that are competing has dropped from 32 to 16. And once those teams are seeded, I'm going to have a whole new episode regarding that. But first, I'm going to jump into what's going on at the collegiate ranks right here in the States. Starting off with the 11th ranked college basketball team in the nation, the Arizona Wildcats hosted the unranked Wyoming Cowboys. Arizona would beat Wyoming 94-65. They won this game by 29 after they outscored Wyoming by 31 in the first half. The 11th ranked Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting guard, Benedict Maturin. Their starting sophomore out of Montreal would go on to finish with 24 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists in 35 minutes. He would go on to shoot 10 for 16 from the field and 2 for 6 from 3, as well as 2 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the 11th ranked Arizona Wildcats are 8-0, still have yet to lose a game this season. With this loss, the unranked Wyoming Cowboys are 8-1, losing their first game of the season. Looking at the 15th ranked team in the nation, the UConn Huskies went to West Virginia to face off against the unranked Mountaineers. West Virginia would end up beating UConn 56-53 after they outscored UConn by 3 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 15th ranked Huskies were led in scoring by their starting forward, Isaiah Whaley, out of North Carolina. He will go on to finish with 15 points in 30 minutes as he shot 7 for 10 from the field. On the winning end of this matchup, the Mountaineers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Taz Sherman, out of Missouri City, Texas. Taz Sherman would finish with 23 points and 6 rebounds in 40 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and with this win, the unranked West Virginia Mountaineers are 8-1 at home. With this loss, the 15th ranked UConn Huskies are now 8-2 on the season. Looking at the 19th ranked team in the nation, the Michigan State Spartans went to Minnesota to face off against the unranked Golden Gophers. Michigan State was able to beat Minnesota 75-67. They won it by 8 after they outscored Minnesota by 13 in the first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the Michigan State Spartans were led by their starting forward, Gabe Brown, out of Michigan. Gabe Brown finished with 15 points and 8 rebounds in 31 minutes. He shot 5 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Also in their starting lineup, their starting point guard, Tyson Walker, out of Kentucky, would finish with 15 points and 5 rebounds in 24 minutes. He shot 5 for 7 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And not to mention that their junior forward off the bench, Malik Hill, will go on to finish with 15 points and 9 rebounds in 22 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3 as well. With this win, the 19th ranked Michigan State Spartans are now 8-2. They are 1-0 in the Big Ten. With this loss, the unranked Minnesota Golden Gophers are 7-1. They are 0-1 in the Big Ten. Taking a look at what's going on with the 20th ranked team in the nation, the Florida Gators hosted the unranked North Florida Ospreys. The Florida Gators would end up beating the Ospreys 85-55 after they outscored Northern Florida by 18 in the first half and by 12 in the second. On the winning end of this matchup, the 20th ranked Gators were led in scoring by their starting forward, Colin Castleton, out of Florida. Castleton would go on to finish with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals in 27 minutes. He would go on to shoot 9 for 17 from the field, and he shot 8 for 11 from the foul line. With this win, the 20th ranked Florida Gators are 7-2. With this loss, the unranked North Florida Ospreys are 2-9. Taking a look at the 21st ranked team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes hosted the unranked Towson Tigers. Ohio State was able to beat Towson 85-74, winning this game by 11 after they outscored Towson by 10 in the second half. The 21st ranked Buckeyes were led in scoring by their forward off the bench, Kyle Young. Their senior out of Canton, Ohio, will go on to finish with 18 points in 24 minutes. He shot 6 for 7 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and he shot 4 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the 21st ranked Ohio State Buckeyes are 7-2. With this loss, the unranked Towson Tigers are 6-4. Looking at the 22nd ranked team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers hosted the unranked Indiana Hoosiers. Wisconsin would end up beating Indiana 64-59, winning it by 5 after they outscored Indiana by 22 in the second half to overcome their 17-point deficit to stay ranked. On the winning end of this matchup, the 22nd ranked Badgers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Johnny Davis, out of Wisconsin. He will go on to finish with 23 points and 9 rebounds in 37 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field, and he would shoot 6 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the 22nd ranked Wisconsin Badgers are 8-1. They are 1-0 in the Big Ten. With this loss, the unranked Indiana Hoosiers are 7-2. They are officially 1-1 in the Big Ten. Last but not least, taking a look at the 24th ranked BYU Cougars, they hosted the unranked Utah State Aggies, and BYU would beat Utah State 82-71. BYU won this game by 11 after outscoring Utah State by 12 in the first half. The 24th ranked Cougars were led in scoring by their starting guard, Alex Barcelo, out of Arizona. Barcelo will go on to finish with 17 points and 2 steals in 30 minutes, as he will go on to shoot 4 for 12 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the 24th ranked BYU Cougars are 8-1, and with this loss, the unranked Utah State Aggies are 6-3. Taking a look at what's going on at the professional level, today will be the very first matchup of the 14th week of the 18-week regular season as the Minnesota Vikings host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Looking at what's going on in the NBA from yesterday's matchup, starting off in Charlotte, the Hornets hosted the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers would end up beating the Charlotte Hornets 110-106 as the Sixers went on to outscore the Hornets by 6 in the second half in order to win this matchup, outscoring the Hornets by 3 in the fourth quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Hornets were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Gordon Hayward. Hayward finished with 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists in 41 minutes. He shot 10 for 18 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 9 for 10 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, Kelly Oubre Jr., finished with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in 41 minutes. He shot 8 for 22 from the field, and he shot 3 for 4 from the foul line. And their starting small forward, Miles Bridges, out of Michigan State, would finish with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, and 5 fouls in 43 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Sixers were led in scoring by their elite starting center, Joel Embiid. He finished with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists in 33 minutes. Embiid shot 8 for 17 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 15 for 19 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, Seth Curry, finished with 23 points and 8 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Philadelphia 76ers are now 14-11. With this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are now 14-13 on the season. Now taking a look at what's going on in Cleveland, the Cavaliers hosted the Chicago Bulls. The Cavs would end up beating the Bulls 115-92. They would win this game by 23 after they outscored the Bulls by 9 in the first half, and they would go on to outscore the Bulls Bulls by 14 in the second. On the losing end of this matchup, the Chicago Bulls were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard out of UCLA, their former All-Star Zach LaVine. LaVine finished with 23 points and 9 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 9 for 21 from the field, and he would shoot 4 for 7 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Darius Garland. Garland finished with 24 points and 6 assists in 33 minutes. He shot 9 for 16 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 14-12. With this loss, the Chicago Bulls are now 7-9 on the season. Taking a look at what's going on in Detroit, the Pistons host the Washington Wizards. The Wizards would end up beating the Pistons 119-116. They won this game by 3 after outscoring the Pistons 13-10 in overtime. And the Wizards actually had to outscore the Pistons by 8 in the second half in order to tie the game up to go to overtime in the first place. On the losing end of this matchup, the Pistons were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Jeremy Grant. He finished with 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in 39 minutes as he shot 6 for 16 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and 14 for 15 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, the number 1 overall pick from the 2021 draft, Cade Cunningham, finished with 21 points and 2 steals in 37 minutes as he shot 8 for 20 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Washington Wizards were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma finished with 26 points, 7 rebounds in 39 minutes as he shot 8 for 18 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 6 for 7 from 3. Their elite starting shooting guard, Bradley Beal, finished with 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 43 minutes. He shot 10 for 19 from the field and 5 for 8 from the foul line. With this win, the Washington Wizards are now 15-11. With this loss, the Detroit Pistons are now 4-20 on the season. Looking at what's going on in Indianapolis, the Pacers hosted the New York Knicks. The Pacers were able to beat the New York Knicks 122-102. The Pacers were able to win this game by 20 after they outscored the Knicks by 13 in the first half and by an additional 7 in the third. On the losing end of this matchup, the New York Knicks were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard out of Duke, R.J. Barrett. He finished with 19 points in 35 minutes as he shot 5 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Indiana Pacers were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Chris Duarte. Duarte finished with 23 points and 6 assists in 30 minutes. He shot 9 for 11 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting center out of Texas, Miles Turner, finished with 22 points and 2 blocks in 32 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. And then their starting power forward, their former All-Star Domantas Sabonis, finished with 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists in 33 minutes. He shot 7 for 8 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the Indiana Pacers are now 11-16. With this loss, the New York Knicks are now 12-13. Taking a look at what's going on in Miami, the Miami Heat hosted the Milwaukee Bucks. The Heat would end up beating the Bucks 113-104. The Heat would end up winning this game by 9 after they outscored the Bucks by 13 in the third and by a combined 16 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks were led in scoring by their starting point guard out of UCLA, Jrue Holiday. Holiday finished with 27 points and 2 steals in 37 minutes. He shot 12 for 17 from the field and 3 for 7 from 3. Their starting small forward, their former All-Star Chris Middleton, finished with 20 points and 6 rebounds as well as 6 turnovers in 35 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo, would finish with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in 33 minutes as he shot 4 for 13 from the field and 7 for 12 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Miami Heat were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Caleb Martin. He finished with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 34 minutes. He shot 9 for 12 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3, and he shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line on the night. And then alongside him, their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, would finish with 22 points, 2 rebounds, and 13 assists, as well as 6 turnovers in 39 minutes. He shot 9 for 21 from the field, 4 for 13 from 3 as well. With this win, the Miami Heat are 15-11 on the season, and with this loss, the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks are now 16-10. Taking a look now at what is going on in Toronto, north of the border, the Raptors hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder would end up beating the Raptors 110-109. They won this game by 1 after they outscored the Raptors by 21 points in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Raptors were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard out of Duke, Gary Trent Jr. He finished with 24 points and 2 steals as my former classmate shot 10 for 17 from the field in 39 minutes. He shot 4 for 8 from 3 as well. Their elite starting power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 turnovers in 38 minutes. He shot 10 for 15 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and he would shoot 1 from 3 from the foul line as well. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, on the winning end of this matchup, their leading scorer was their starting point guard out of Kentucky, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He finished with 26 points and 9 assists in 37 minutes as he shot 6 for 17 from the field and a perfect 12 for 12 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Luguentz Dort, finished with 22 points, 6 rebounds in 38 minutes. He shot 8 for 18 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now 8-16. With this loss, the Toronto Raptors are now 11-14. Taking a look now at what is going on in Houston. The Houston Rockets hosted the Brooklyn Nets as James Harden faced off against the team in which he won a MVP. And the Rockets would end up beating the Nets 114-104. They won this game by 10 after they outscored the Brooklyn Nets by a combined 15 points in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Brooklyn Nets were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard and former Houston Rocket, James Harden. James Harden would go on to finish with 25 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 8 turnovers in 39 minutes. He went on to shoot 4 for 16 from the field, 3 for 12 from 3, and 14 for 16 from the foul line. Off the bench, their elite power forward, Blake Griffin, finished with 7 points and 3 rebounds in 13 minutes as he shot 3 for 4 from the field and he made his only free throw. On the winning end of this matchup, the Houston Rockets were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Eric Gordon. Gordon finished with 21 points in 28 minutes as he shot 8 for 12 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the Houston Rockets are now 8-16. With this loss, the Brooklyn Nets are now 17-8. Taking a look now at what is going on in Memphis, the Grizzlies hosted the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks were able to beat the Grizzlies 104-96. The Mavericks would win this game by 8 after they outscored the Grizzlies by 7 in the fourth quarter and by a combined 12 in the second half to overcome their 4-point deficit. On the losing end of this matchup, the Grizzlies were led in scoring by their starting power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. finished with 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 34 minutes. He shot 9 for 19 from the field and 6 for 8 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks were led by their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic. He finished with 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 9 turnovers in 36 minutes. He shot 10 for 19 from the field, 5 for 10 from 3, and he made one of his 2 free throw attempts on the day. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are now 12-12, and with this loss, the Memphis Grizzlies are now 14-11. Taking a look now at what's going on in Minneapolis, the Timberwolves hosted the Utah Jazz, and the Jazz would end up beating the Timberwolves 136-104. They would win this game by 32 after they outscored the Timberwolves by a combined 31 points in the second half. They outscored the Timberwolves by 13 in the third quarter, and they would go on to outscore them by 18 after they outscored the Timberwolves by 1 in the first half. But still, I digress. On the losing end of this matchup, the Timberwolves were led in scoring by their elite starting center out of Kentucky, Karl Anthony Towns. He finished with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 7 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he shot 6 for 8 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Utah Jazz were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell finished with 36 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in 34 minutes. Mitchell shot 14 for 23 3 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Bojan Bogdanovic, finished with 21 points and 5 rebounds in 28 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and he made his only free throw attempt of the night. Their elite starting center out of France, Rudy Gobert, finished with 13 points and 10 rebounds in 31 minutes. He shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the field, and he shot 5 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the Utah Jazz are now 17-7. With this loss, the Minnesota Timberwolves are now 11-14. Taking a look now at what's going on in New Orleans. The New Orleans Pelicans hosted the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets would end up beating the Pelicans 120-114. The Nuggets would win this game after outscoring the Pelicans 15-9 in overtime. And this is already after they had already outscored the Pelicans by 7 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Pelicans were led in scoring by their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas. He finished with 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 39 minutes. He shot 12 for 21 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the foul line. Their elite starting small forward, Brandon Ingram, finished with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals, alongside 6 turnovers in 43 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Denver Nuggets were led in scoring by their elite starting center, Nikola Jokic. Jokic finished with 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists, as well as 6 turnovers in 37 minutes. He shot 17 for 23 from the field, and he shot 5 for 9 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Will Barton, finished with 20 points and 6 assists in 42 minutes. He shot 7 for 18 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and he shot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the Denver Nuggets are now 12-12. With this loss, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 7-20. Taking a look now at what is going on in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors hosted the Portland Trailblazers. The Warriors would end up beating the Trailblazers 104-94. They won this game by 10 after they outscored the Trailblazers by 8 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Trailblazers were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Norman Powell. Powell finished with 26 points and 5 assists in 43 minutes. He shot 8 for 23 from the field and 9 for 11 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Golden State Warriors were led in scoring by their goated starting point guard, Stephen Curry. Curry finished with 22 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 33 minutes. He shot 8 for 19 from the field, and he shot 6 for 17 from 3. Their starting shooting guard, Jordan Poole, finished with 20 points and 3 steals in 35 minutes. He will go on to shoot 5 for 14 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3, and 8 for 9 from the foul line. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are now 21-4. With this loss, the Portland Trailblazers are now 11-15. Taking a look now at what is going on in Sacramento, the Kings hosted the Orlando Magic. The Kings would end up beating the Magic 142-130. They would win this game by 12 after they outscored the Magic by 9 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Magic were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Cole Anthony. He finished with 33 points and 8 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 12 for 22 from the field, 6 for 9 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Sacramento Kings were led in scoring by their starting point guard out of Kentucky, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox finished with 33 points in 33 minutes as he shot 12 for 18 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and he shot 7 for 8 from the foul line. And then with this win, the Sacramento Kings are now 11-14, and with this loss, the Orlando Magic are now 5-21. And then, of course, last but not least, taking a look at what's going on in the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Boston Celtics. The Clippers would end up beating the Celtics 114-111. They won this game by 3 after they outscored the Celtics by 16 in the second quarter. That was the only quarter in which they outscored the Celtics. On the losing end of this matchup, the Celtics were led by their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Jason Tatum. He finished with 29 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, as well as 6 turnovers in 36 minutes. He shot 9 for 20 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 9 for 10 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the LA Clippers were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Marcus Morris Sr. He finished with 20 points in 35 minutes. He shot 7 for 16 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. He led the starters in scoring. The whole team was led in scoring by their shooting guard off the bench, Brandon Boston Jr. He would finish with 27 points and 4 steals in 25 minutes. He shot 9 for 13 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and he shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the LA Clippers are 14-12, and with this loss, the Boston Celtics are 13-13 as we inch through the NBA one day at a time. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on overseas, what's going on with the final Champions League group stage matchups. Starting off with Group E, starting off with Group E and with the reigning Bundesliga champions, Bayern Munich was able to beat Barcelona 3-0 in order to finish at the top of the table and finish with a perfect record in Champions League. Their 3 goals will come from their goated German center midfielder Thomas Muller, their elite German winger Leroy Sané, and their young midfielder Jamal Musiala. And then, of course, looking at the other matchup, Benfica out of Portugal was able to beat Dynamo Kiev 2-0 at home. As with this 2-0 win, Benfica had enough points to jump over Barcelona and finish with the second place in Group E. Bayern Munich and Benfica will be the 2 teams that will advance to the round of 16. Barcelona finishing third in the group will now be relegated to Europa League, and Dynamo Kiev will not be competing in an international tournament following this because they finished at the bottom. Looking at Group F, starting with the Europa League defending champs, Villarreal from Spain their game would actually have to get postponed. But looking at the other matchup, Manchester United had to face off against Young Boys from Switzerland, and this game would end up as a 1-1 draw as Mason Greenwood would score the lone goal for Manchester United. And of course, with this win, Manchester United has already clinched the best record in the table. Villarreal and Atalanta are going to face off against one another to see which team will advance to Champions League and which team will advance to Europa League following this. Taking a look at what's going on in Group G, starting off with the reigning Ligue 1 champs, Lille was able to beat Wolfsburg in Germany 3-1, as with their 3 points, they are now at the top of Group G. And looking at the other matchup in this group, FC Salzburg hosted Sevilla from Spain, and Salzburg was able to beat Sevilla 1-0 off of their 50th minute goal from Okafor. And the 2 teams from Group G that will be advancing are LOSC Lille, the reigning Ligue 1 champs from France, and RB Salzburg, the reigning Austrian champs. Sevilla will be relegated to Europa League, and Wolfsburg will not advance to the next round. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on in Group H, starting off with the reigning Champions League winners, Chelsea would draw with Zenit St. Petersburg 3-3, as 2 of their goals will come from their elite German striker Timo Werner, and the other goal will come from their elite Belgian striker, Romelu Lukaku. And looking at the other matchup in Group H, looking alongside this draw, Juventus was able to beat Malmo at home as their lone goal came from Moise Kean. With these 3 points, Juventus finish at the top of Group H as they are the number 1 team in this group for now, or as it stands. Chelsea will take that second spot as after they won Champions League last year, they are one of the 16 teams to advance. Zenit St. Petersburg with 5 points will be dropped down to Europa League contention, and Malmo with only 1 point in all of their games played are going to be relegated. So as of right now, there are still 17 teams that are still playing for contention as 15 of these slots have been filled. The last matchup that still has yet to be played will be today, as of course Atalanta will eventually have to face off against Villarreal, as the winner of that matchup will be the 16th and final team to go through. And once all of those teams are selected, I am going to go through how the group stage finished and of course go through the draw stage right after that. But of course, with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 28 minutes of this piece. Of course, I do hope all is well. And following today's matchups, I will come back tomorrow on Friday, December 10th for another episode of The Elite. Once again, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well. And once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, like I said, I will come back tomorrow. I want to thank the NCAA, NFL, NBA, and FIFA websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I need. And thanks for navigating this whole world of sports with me every single day. And I'll catch you with another piece tomorrow. Once again, peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow.